Hello everyone. So it is about 8:45. I just uploaded a video I've been working all night. Now, all this here, this has been since about an hour and 45 minutes working outside in the morning, and I am drenched in sweat. So I got the trailer that was hit. I was going to take it up to the welding shop and finally get it fixed, since I finally got a few dollars. And I called them up, I got everything ready, called them up. They're like, yeah, we can't do it today. So I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to take it up there on Wednesday. But yeah, it's been a hectic morning already. And while in the process of moving and doing things, I came across an object that anytime that I do something unique, or anytime that I like to keep little keepsakes for, memories, and anytime I see it, it instantly brings back that memory. And I saw something, and it reminded me on how, are they coming from me? Nope. So, it got me thinking about how good and bad corporate security is. So, you have small corporations, security's horrible. You have larger corporations that can afford, to spend money on security, and they actually have really good security. It's the people inside that's usually the problem. But, most big companies have security badges to get you in the doors, and gates and all kinds of stuff. I mean, even the people across from me, their little security key bag got hit not too long ago. And it got me thinking about something. What if we could fix immigration, by using corporations? And this is a crazy idea. It will never happen. Never. But what if, let's say you had, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, some big international corporation, and you say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to build a wall on the southern border. The reason people are supposedly coming here, what people say for asylum, but let's just call BS on that real quick, hold on a second, let me back up here. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. But let's say, they're coming here for jobs. And we do have a problem with illegal invaders coming in here. I'm not going to call them nothing but that, because that's exactly what they're doing. And if you know about the policies as far as, coming here and claiming, my brain's, I've had one hell of a morning. But coming in here, saying, hey, we're in fear for our lives, we're going to come here. You're supposed to do it in whatever country you leave, the next neighboring country, not, going through 10 or 15 countries and then showing up at our door saying, we're here, save us. But all that being aside, what if we said, okay, Mexico, we're going to do a sweet little deal. We're going to take 10, 20 miles all the way across, and we're going to make a buffer zone, and we're going to sub it out to different corporations, and the corporations will be responsible for lights, electric, water, whatever the hell they want to do. If it's a green company, let them do solar and wind farm. If they're not, let them, get it from wherever. And of course, the prime real estate would be on the two coasts. But, hypothetically, let's say they get 10, 20 miles, from the border inland to Mexico, or inland to us, depending on how the, if there's a city right there on the border, of course, variances have to be made. But let's have corporations set up so that way immigrants can come in. Well, then they would actually be immigrants. They'd come in, get established with the job, have to work there so many years while they're vetted, get to find out what kind of people they are, everything else. Towns would flourish and to these corporations. They'd have low wages, and let's call it, it's not quite America, but it's not quite Mexico either. Actually have a corporate self-contained entity, private property, and they would bring in anybody who makes it to the south side of that corporation, that zone, and they be responsible for vetting and making sure that all these people are good people coming in. If they need scientists, if they need doctors, have it all in-house. Get it all done right then and there. And after vetting them and having it, go through the process in the court system, but giving them a job on the border so they're not just coming in and being homeless every damn where. And I'm over here at my mom's house, and I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses that have went up for rent in the past year, and every single one of them has been Central American. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just curious on the statistical anomaly that every single person, and it's also on the next road over and my road, and I know a guy that lives further on back in the neighborhood, he has the same thing. Every house that comes available has Central American people instantly moving in as soon as it's available. And it just makes me think, just statistically, that shouldn't be happening. I mean, there should be black people, there should be white people, there should be Asian, there should be a lot of other people coming in here, but it's not. So, and again, don't have a problem with it as long as they don't bring crime and everything else in this neighborhood. Don't have a problem with it. But, it gives them an opportunity. If you had a corporate buffer and say, okay, let's say Pepsi Cola. You're going to have, so many miles wide, 10, 20 miles as a buffer border. You have a gate on one end, a gate on the other. You bring stuff in. Now, I know they bring in a lot of product from Mexico, and that's the reason I'm using them. They can have like a hub of where they can bring it in. It comes through the border. There's a checkpoint there, and we're talking, they're securing the border, so anybody who comes across their property, they're liable for. Because they don't want people coming on their property anyways, because it's a major corporation. They have gates around everything. They got security. There's Publix, there's I think Pepsi and Coca-Cola is over off of I-10. You can't get in there. They got security. They got ground sensing vibration things, man. Them places are locked up. So, again, I know. I'm not going to tell you how I know. But, all that being said, if we was to say, okay, Mexico, let's work out some kind of deal to where we're going to give your people an opportunity to have a job, at low American wages or high Mexican wages, however you want to call it. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Boeing, whoever, that needs cheap labor. And of course, if the land is farmable, we bring in Tyson or, some of the big chicken or beef companies or whatever, and logistically it would be a nightmare. It'd take a lot of figuring out, a lot of hooping and hollering, but let the corporations bid to get the property they want and high bidder, rules, just like a Super Bowl ad. People spend hundreds of millions of dollars putting a damn 15-second commercial. You can spend just as much getting a nice big piece of land and getting cheap labor. The corporations will be providing the security. If they fail, they're liable for whatever comes through off their property, period. And it's kind of win-win for everybody. That I can't think of anybody who would lose other than a few people who may live at or near the border. That would be the one rub, is if someone's, had a big ranch right on the border, they probably would not be happy. But, and I hate to even say this, but if I was, let's say, hypothetically, I'm trying to put myself in the eyes of a rancher, and they say, okay, we're going to put a road through your property. We're going to gate it off on both sides, and we're going to have trucks coming in and out, and they're only going to be Pepsi Cola trucks or whoever. I think as a rancher saying, hey, we're not going to have all these people coming across your property. We're going to have one road. This is how people get in and out. I think that would be a consideration if I was a rancher that I would say, you know, to save all of America and all the heartache and all over, you know, I would think I'd be okay with that. You know, plus government would pay me. But anyways, this is what happens when I'm going through stuff and I find a little object in my mind just, and all this took all of about 2-3 minutes to just beep, 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 all this popped in my head real quick like. And while I've been thinking, I'm actually, you know, fine-tuning it in my head as I'm talking to you guys. But, you know, what do you think? I mean, because the border isn't working because the Democratic Party sues everybody that tries to do it. I mean, believe it or not, there's groups suing the Biden administration for trying to finish some of the wall that he stopped. You know, and you look at you know, New York. There's a guy named Cash Jordan, I think his name is, and he puts it out there, and he's all about New York and nothing but New York. But you know, he talks a lot about what's happening in New York City with the immigration, with the buses, with the housing, with, you know, all these SNAP programs. If you watch his channel, you know, I get a lot of information mainly about New York. There's a German that's over in not San Francisco, Long Beach, and he talks about homeless and everything out there. And it's crazy what's going on in these Democrat-ran cities. You know, and I hate to say it, but you don't really see that in Republican cities, not to the extent of, you know, what's happening in Seattle and San Francisco and LA and Chicago and Philadelphia and New York. You know, these are Democrat cities, and they are havens for crime and illegals, and just, it seems like they, you know, this is just thinking outside the box here, but it honestly seems like they purposely want to mess things up. You know, I mean, I would love to have a sit down with someone who really knows what's going on and explain to me how, you know, high crime and illegals all over the place and homelessness and drugs and all this is good. You know, I'd love to have someone honestly sit down and have a honest conversation, not a shouting match. But yeah, this is, I think I can solve the immigration problem. And if you need a liaison, I'm available. We'll sit down, we'll talk. You know, I mean, I know everything from the richest of the rich to the poorest of the poor. And I've had conversations with both. And both of them love me and hate me equally. So, but, anyways, bank's about to open. So all the boxes and totes and all the stuff, I got a big old bag of change I'm gonna take up. Plus I found like $70 going through totes and stuff. So, and I found my last birthday card from my mom, so that was pretty cool. I found that. Ugh. Can't even talk about it without crying. But anyways, tell me what you think about the idea of letting corporations be responsible for our security and having them, you know, be liable for any illegal that comes across and kills or rapes or beats up little children, because that's what's going on right now. And, you know, but as well as Americans are doing the same thing. So I'm not saying this, you know, illegals are the only thing, but illegals are unnecessarily compounding the problem of American society, because it doesn't have to be this way. So anyways, peace, love, money, I'm out.